Devin Haney fans should be very, very mad right now. Oh, man. They should be very mad. Because it turns out that ostarine is not a motive for suspension or any punishment. Yeah, the O that got turned over to a no contest, they may have to give it back. Because ostarine is not an issue according to the New York State Athletic Commission. Let's talk about it. Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this. So Ryan Garcia is not suspended for testing dirty for ostarine, but in fact, he's suspended because he did not submit all of his supplements. So based on the New York State Athletic Commission, by their standard, you have to submit every supplement that you will be using during camp. And Ryan Garcia did not do that. Oh, we about to talk about it. What's up, boxing world? This is Raw Boxing Magic, and we back with another video. So here we go again. It comes out that Ryan Garcia was not suspended for testing positive for ostarine. Here's the thing. You have someone that submitted these supplements that they didn't submit before. Only after the allegations did you submit open containers. Open containers that were opened prior and used, allegedly used by Ryan Garcia prior to the fight. But then you have the companies of these products, of these supplements coming out proving they don't have any traces of ostarine in their supplements. So much so that Ryan Garcia may be getting sued by one or more of these companies that he's inadvertently accused of them having traces of ostarine in their product. So, first of all, that proves right there that there was manipulation involved. So, did this man sit there and sprinkle ostarine in some random supplements that he did not submit to the New York State Athletic Commission? And then here y'all go. This what it was. This what I took. And both of them tested dirty for ostarine. Y'all need to think about what I just said. Both of the products that he said that he took that tested positive for ostarine, they're two different companies, two different products, but both of them had ostarine in it. But yet he's not suspended for testing positive for it. He's suspended for not submitting those supplements. Bro, this boxing game is a dirty world. It's a dirty world. And you can't make this shit up. So, we live in a world where we take up for the bad guy if we don't like the other person. If we have hate for the other person, it doesn't matter if this guy is super flawed and is the most disrespectful, a drug abuser, an alcoholic, just not a good role model at all. Not saying that everybody has to be this pristine role model. But for him, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculously disrespectful. And his disrespect knows no bounds. I just talked about that in a prior video. So it's starting to come out that maybe all of this talk that Ryan Garcia has been doing, saying that, oh, you know, Victor Conti and, you know, Vada and all of these guys are cheating for Devin Haney. They wanted Devin Haney to win. I don't see it. I don't see where people are going to bat for Devin Haney at all. He's under more scrutiny, and he was the one cheated. He was the one who came in at weight, and Ryan Garcia missed weight on purpose. He was the one who tested positive for Ostarine, and Devin Haney was a clean fighter and has always shown to be a clean fighter and has always made the contracted weight. You know, and it was there was a documentary called Secrets on Secrets, or Secrets Under Secrets, something like that. The Deception of the Haneys. This documentary was so flawed. I mean, this documentary was so flawed. Completely inconsistent. So, in one of the parts of the documentary, someone was on the phone, some lady was speaking and saying that they're trying to make a Super Mayweather out of Devin Haney. They're trying to make a Super Mayweather over there with Snack. So they're trying to make a Super Mayweather. You know, he's a weight bully. He is a weight bully. Wow. So why is it that Devin Haney being a weight bully doesn't do anything for his power? Why is it, if he's a weight bully, it doesn't do anything necessarily for his chin? He doesn't get hit a lot, but he has shown to be rattled a few times. Where's this Super Mayweather shit coming from? How? If he's pillow fisted, like you guys like to say, how is he a weight bully? Because he's bigger in size. Nobody was saying that about Margarito when he fought Cotto. Nobody was saying that, about guys like Sergio Martinez who fought Paul Williams. Nobody said that Paul Williams was being a weight bully. Nobody said that Margarito was being a weight bully. But they were naturally bigger, right? They are bigger. They naturally bigger guys. A Super Mayweather? Devin Haney went into almost every fight weight drained. Didn't have the power. Punch resistance was never really there. Reaction time was not where it should have been. He just was good enough to win those fights. But we never seen Devin Haney at 100%. We never seen a lot of fighters at 100% for that matter. Not gonna lie. But a Super Mayweather? Because he rehydrated up to 165 pounds against Regis Prograis, who weighed in at 158 pounds, making the weight difference only about 7 pounds. And if you look at these two guys standing up to each other, you would never think that they would weigh the same thing on the night of the fight. You would look at these guys and you would never think that they would weigh the same thing on the night of the fight. It just would not happen. One is just a naturally bigger man. But if you can make the weight, you can make the fight. Nobody never said that about Tommy Hearns. When he was taller and bigger, longer limbs, and, from an aesthetic point, the bigger man. Who said something then? But you want to take a guy who you claim is pillow-fisted and say he's being a weight bully, and karma caught up with him. No, karma didn't catch up with him. Regis Prograis was 158 pounds. And one thing that Regis didn't say, conveniently, that when they weighed in the day of the fight, the night of that fight, they had on clothes. Why ain't nobody asked Regis that? Why ain't nobody asked Regis that? Regis conveniently left that part, didn't say anything about that. Exactly. They weighed in with their clothes on. Come on, man. Let's be for real. So neither one of those weights that you just heard, 165 and 158, was completely accurate. And again, like I said, Devin Haney has been weight drained for the majority of his career. And his last fight was no different. I documented this at the weigh-in the day before the Ryan Garcia fight. I documented how Devin Haney looks horrible, how Devin Haney stumbled off of the scale, how Devin Haney couldn't hardly talk. You can tell that he didn't have the the saliva that he would usually have in his mouth at that time. And another thing that I've said before, what we seen was the ceremonial weigh-in. Meaning this, I want y'all to stay tuned for this. Meaning this, the weigh-in that we seen Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney do was the ceremonial weigh-in. The real weigh-in was done hours before that, right? So think about that. What do you think they did as soon as they hopped off that scale? They started hydrating. Yeah. Yep. They started hydrating. They started even eating. So if Devin Haney made 140 on the nose, and he had to strip naked, by the way. That's how bad this weight cut was. And Ryan Garcia weighed in at 143.2 pounds. What weight do you think they were by the time that we seen them at the ceremonial weigh-in? I'll wait. Come on, man. Look, ain't nobody really talk about that neither. Devin Haney probably rehydrated up to about, let's say, 144 by the time we seen them at the ceremonial weigh-ins. So he's been drinking, hydrating, and all that, and he still stumbled off the scale. Still look horrible. Bad weight cut, and the hydration process is now pushed back and slowed for him because he got such of a gap to close. Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, didn't make the weight, so he has a head start in the rehydration process. And not only that, by the time we seen him on the scale drinking that beer, he had to be at least 147 pounds, 148 pounds. They were hydrating for the last couple hours. It may have been, it was a early in the day weigh-in. It wasn't like the Tank versus Frank Martin weigh-in where it was a lot later in the day. This was earlier in the day. And this was hours because I seen Devin Haney tweet, shaking my head. Ryan Garcia just came over weight by 3.2 pounds, right? This was hours before we actually got to see the live ceremonial weigh-in. So Ryan Garcia was already a welterweight by the time we seen him. So what do you think he rehydrated to at the night of the fight, which was the biggest that we've ever seen him? Even in his last fight against Oscar Duarte, he weighed in at that 143, but he couldn't rehydrate the same way. This time, his body had ample time to do so, and he didn't cut down that weight. He came in over 143 pounds this time, and he went on to rehydrate up, if I'm looking from the perspective of what I'm seeing, at least 172 pounds. He was huge. He was huge. It looked like a super welterweight or a junior middleweight fighting a welterweight that night. Devin Haney didn't even look as big as he did in the Regis fight. He didn't even look as big as he looked in the Regis fight. He couldn't rehydrate the same way. When Devin Haney walked to the ring, he looked subdued. He looked worried, nervous. And then you get in the ring and you look across you and you got a big ass Ryan Garcia in front of you that you did not expect. And then later comes out that he was on PEDs. Not only did you cheat with the weight because you said you did it on purpose, now you just shifted and now it's a whole different weight class. It is not the same thing with Regis Prograis and Devin Haney. Devin Haney was not an entire weight class over Regis Prograis, period. Point blank, period. He was not so much bigger to the point where it was something that stood out that he was weight bullying. No. Regis Prograis is short. He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy. But it's coming out that is why Ryan Garcia is being suspended and fined and all of these things and having to forfeit 1.1 or 1.2 million of his purse. Man, this is getting crazier by the day. Crazier by the day. And y'all want to know what's crazy? Nobody is talking about the glutathione that he took in the show 40 days out. You know, in the promotion for the fight with Devin, Haney, and Ryan Garcia. Yes, glutathione, something that naturally occurs in the body and acts as a detoxification process, right? He was being administered that intravenously, going straight to the bloodstream, expediting the process of elimination. What was he eliminating? Whatever was in his system. Whether it was a controlled substance, whether it was marijuana, whether it was PEDs, it does not matter. Glutathione is a strong hormone that kicks on usually when you're asleep to detoxify the body. So him using IV therapy was the very thing flushing his system out from toxins and free radicals and any controlled substance that he was putting in his body. And also, I believe that is how the Ostarine was administered. Straight to the bloodstream. The quickest way. It wasn't no damn tablets. Don't believe it. He had this IV all through camp. And who knows how often he used it. So I need this to ring in you guys' ears. Glutathione. That's what that is. It removes all of any cytotoxins out of the body. They use this in IV therapy for addicts. And you know what it does? It rids the addicts of any withdrawal symptoms of any kind. Right? Remember when we used to see Ryan Garcia with his little facial tics, his face jumping, he uncontrollable, almost like in a Tourette's type of situation? Yeah. And then all of a sudden that just went away. Yet we see the culprit, this IV, loaded with glutathione and Lord knows what else. But this is what people go to bat for, right? But by now, y'all should know my temperature. I don't do no faking or no frauding. That ain't my texture. Love y'all. I'm out.
So you know what? Like the sun.